Oh, from Southern Ontario, January 23rd. Excuse me, I just came in from outside. It's cold. My nose is a bit runny. Anyways, as the world moves right, isn't it interesting? In the States, we see the Americans voted in Trump pretty solidly, and the left is losing their mind, especially as what was it, yesterday, the day before, he signed all those executive orders. He's moving hard and fast on the things he said he was going to, and the left is freaking out. But let's take a little trip through kind of recent political history. How long has Giorgia Meloni been in power in Italy? 2.5 years? I didn't fact check. She's not a WEF member, right wing. Her predecessors were left, and WEF, the leaders were WEF members. She's polling well, and Italy seems to be in a slow recovery. I mean, she's polling well with the citizens after being in power. In France, their recent elections, the right wing, what's her name? Anyways, was polling strongly, and in the first round of elections was winning. The left, Macron, incumbent WEF member, they did some sketchy stuff and managed to, Marine Le Pen managed to block the right and Marine Le Pen from attaining power, and now their government is on the verge of collapse again. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, I'm sorry. Germany, I mentioned in a previous video, the left government led by Olaf Scholz, left member, has collapsed, and they're holding an election, and the right is polling strongly. The right wing Conservative Party polling number one, and the right wing AFD Party polling second. In the UK, in desperation, the people voted out the Conservative Party, which had been in power for, a dozen or 14 years or something. I think they didn't realize that most of what they went through, 8 leaders in that time period, most of them, the leaders of the Conservative Party, that is, in the UK, were WEF members. Think Boris Johnson. So they voted in the Labour Party leader, Keir Starmer, who is on public record as saying, he's a WEF member, a Young Global Leaders graduate, that he puts his loyalty to the WEF ahead of that of the country he leads, and did the exact opposite of what he said he was going to do when he came into power. So his government's in trouble. Not exactly sure what's going on there either, but polling shows the right wing, what's the party name? Farage, Nigel Farage leads the party. Anyways, they continue to rise in the polls, and the incumbent government of Keir Starmer seems in trouble. Interesting times. The left is losing it, right? The behavioral sciences psych department has the anything but conservative people convinced that conservative politics are going to be the end of democracy throughout the entire galaxy, maybe even the entire universe. But the people, be they wherever, oh, you shedding creature, you, here, have your hair back. Anyways, cat's shedding all over me. Anyways, I think in most of these countries, the unawareness, the ignorance of the power that the WEF has and the penetration into the governments, I think they're largely ignorant to that, but they're saying, hey, what we've been doing for, well, it's been a decade and a half in Europe, it's been a decade here in Canada, isn't working. We want something else. Argentina, what's his name, Javier, whatever there, he seems to be turning the country around. And last year at the World Economic Forum, he gave a speech that was basically a one-finger salute to the World Economic Forum. And currently, the annual meeting of the global elitists, the oligarchs, is happening in Davos. And the theme is the same as last year. Klaus saying, we must regain trust and cease the flow of mis and disinformation. Sorry, Klaus. The information that people are catching on to, they're catching on to you. and your WEF globalist agenda. Interesting times.